PEG troches that we're going to make involve quite a few ingredients. To speed up the process of making the video, I have pre-weighed the ingredients. Some of the ingredients that you need to do a little special work on pre-weighing would be the citric acid, which when you get it out is a crystalline form. So you weigh it more than what you need, you triturate it in your porcelain mortar, and then you weigh out the portion that is needed, which I've already done. Another ingredient would be the asulfame potassium, is also the same way, where you need to weigh out more, triturate, and then weigh out what you need. Today we're going to make myconazole troches, and you could make a number of different ones. We are using a troche container that contains 12, or will dispense 12 troches to the patient. There's also 30 and various sizes like that. It does come with a lid, so that when the troches are finished, you put on the lid and you label the lid for the patient. So to get ready, I'm going to get my troche container ready. I've weighed out all the powders, and then the polyethylene glycol, or the PEG 1450, I've weighed into the smallest beaker by zeroing it. So to start, I'm going to microwave the PEG 1450 for somewhere between 30 and 45 seconds until all the solids have melted. So after this has been microwaved for 30 to 45 seconds, whatever it takes for all the solids to be melted, you'll notice that it does feel quite hot to the touch underneath, so it would be too hot to pour right now, but that's a good thing because we have to add all the solids. Now, out of all the solids and powders that you need to add the silica gel last and the acacia second last, because they will make it cloudy because they'll be suspended. So I'm going to start out with my two sweeteners, the asulfame and the stevia. And actually, I can just load these powders into the beaker. And then I'm going to stir. I'm also going to add the citric acid, which is put in there for tartness, especially with the flavor that we are going to use, which includes tangerine and marshmallow, which seem to cover the active ingredient well. And those two, one of them is citrus, which is the tangerine, which seems to do well when you add some citric acid. Then I'm going to add my active ingredient, followed by my acacia and my silica gel, because it is starting to cool down, I can tell, and I want to get it poured. I'm going to add the flavor last, because the flavor can possibly be added when something's too hot and you can lose some of the flavor. So I have my acacia, and now the silica gel is kind of a funny product, which it appears light and fluffy and almost spongy-like. And it definitely will cloud up the suspension. And I want to make sure I get it all off of my paper, my weigh paper. So now that I have it suspended, I want to make sure that none of the ingredients seem to be in any large clumps. And after that, we can add the two flavors and then pour. Now you are to figure out how many drops of flavor. And that's my first flavor, and I think I will stir in between. Tangerine oil, which we have chosen because it is an oil-based flavor, will cover some of the ingredients that maybe an aqueous flavor would not cover, and it does impart a light orange color to the liquid. And we have added then marshmallow flavor to kind of round out the tangerine oil, and it seems to help. You can use marshmallow or vanilla butternut with this particular formula, and it seems to work well. Now, with careful measuring all these ingredients, we have calibrated the mold for you over a number of times of making this preparation, so that the amount in this little beaker will fill completely the 12 and then allow for shrinkage so that they will make full troches. This now is able to be touched on the center of the bottom of the beaker without me having to retract my finger right away, so I am ready to pour. The pouring should be even, and we want to completely fill the troche mold. The good thing about that is that there are little overflow spots, and if you pour too much on one side, with the amount that we've calculated, it should flow over to the other areas. You will notice 12 full troches in your mold, and then you'll notice 2 little partial troches. They're not even quite a full half of a troche. So you can fill one at least of those little extra spots if you need to, as far as getting everything out of the beaker. If it flows over into that, that's fine. As far as my example today, I did not fill one of the little overflow spots. So now we have to wait for this to cool until the entire mold is cool and they're solid, so that we can finish it up for dispensing. So it's taken somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes, probably a good 20 minutes for these to harden up. And you'll kind of notice if you look at them sideways that the surfaces almost look a little crackled or scaly, and that the white separations are noticeable now because it has settled down a little. It has hardened and it has caused it to shrink a little bit. I do want you to take, now I had only filled one of the 2 extra pieces, and I do want you to take out that extra piece because the doctor asked you to dispense 12 lozenges or troches, and this is not part of it. So you are going to have to use your little micro spatula and dig it out, as it were. And I did want to show you something too that some pharmacists do with the troches. Another thing that they kind of give the patients, like a little spatula to dig them out. And so I'm digging out my little extra piece that's not needed. Some pharmacists will dispense a little spatula that's actually a cosmetic spatula to help the person dig out the troches. Actually, bending the tray quite a bit will help to crack them away from the separators and helps them to come out more nicely. So I'm going to dispense 12 troches. The little lid to protect them goes on, and then we have to baby label because the big label is too big for the container. Put a piece of tape on that, and then the troche container will go into a baggie that you will put the full label on and your auxiliaries, and you will tape. And you'll notice that the troches do fit into the baggie, and then you'll have the finished troches. So that's how you make the PEG troches.